in Accra on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian. Telesol, just a touch. Mark Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu and Chevy cars. Mark Auto Parts Ghana, with you for the long run. And UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, let's go. Coming up in this edition, Inspector General of Police David Asante Apietu escapes possible jail time or imposition of fine as Attorney General appeals court's decision finding him guilty of contempt. We have details. Police in Takwa arrest 3 suspected human traffickers after their victims brought from Nigeria to engage in prostitution escaped.
Their bra and their panties were taken ostensibly to put fear in them and threaten them that if they dare run away from what they are coming to do, they will be killed.
We'll bring you more as police hunt for more suspects. Also, we'll tell you about the innovative security cameras that help you monitor activities in your home or shop wherever you are in the world with just a click on your phone.
Even if you are not home and somebody comes around, the motion sensor triggers to alert you on your smart device, be it your laptop, your mobile phone or your tablet, wherever you are, for you to see what goes on.
And that's coming up in today's edition of Tech Thursday. We are also live in Kumasi as the Kumasi Ashanti Traditional Council meets parties involved in the KNUST on pass. Also in sports.
Now there's confirmation of 3 warm-up matches for the Black Queens against Zambia, Kenya and South Africa ahead of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations, which will be held here in Ghana starting November 17. Details coming up in 20.
And after months of investigations into murder of 7 Zongo youth in Kumasi, government is yet to release details of the report. We'll hear from the Zongo youth demanding the report be made public.
The report is being kept in secrecy. It gives room for speculations, and we don't want anything speculative to be going around because we don't want anything similar to happen again.
And we'll stay here a while longer in the Ashanti region, Kumasi exactly, where a student of the St. Louis Senior High School alleged to have been sexually abused by the pantry man there has been providing details to Joy News. This comes as Child Rights International demands reopening of alleged cases of sexual abuse at the school. We have details here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. We settle for the details now, and Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame today succeeded in preventing an Accra High Court from sentencing the Inspector General of Police David Asante Apietu, who had been found guilty of contempt. He has filed 3 applications, all geared at ensuring that Mr. Apietu is not handed jail time or fined. Justice Daniel Mensah had earlier ruled that the IGP was guilty of contempt for willfully disobeying orders to provide security for the execution of a court order for the sale of a 12-block flats belonging to 2 citizens, Samuel Agri Jr. and Augustine Jeche. Joseph Akabley is in court and joins us on the line with details. So, Joseph, first of all, was the IGP himself in court today?
For the IGP, Mr. David Asante Apietu was not present in court. An officer of the police service, DSP Richard Boatin, showed up representing the Inspector General of Police, but the Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame did apologize for the failure of the IGP to be present in court. He explained that the IGP considers the matter very important, especially that it concerns him directly, but he was unable to show up because of a similar important activity that he's engaged in this morning.
So what else has the Deputy AG been saying in defense of the police chief?
So there are 3 applications he explains to the court that has been filed. The first application is to inform the court that they intend to appeal the decision at a higher court. That is, they want to set aside that decision that convicted the IGP of contempt. The second being that they are asking that the court holds on to its sentencing. You recall that the court had adjourned today to give its sentence after it had found him guilty. So that is the second application. The third application is an interpleader. They are making a case that the said property that is currently being occupied by the police officers, they are contesting the claims of ownership that it belongs to the private individuals. He explains that as far as they are concerned, the property belongs to the Ghana Police Service.
Educators, Joseph, they are concerned that Mr. Asante Apietu was sued in his personal capacity. So why is the Attorney General representing him?
Earlier, when the case was filed, we know that for such cases, the AG's office is named as a nominal defendant. So the AG will be joined to it, aside from the fact that the IGP himself will be named as the first defendant. At earlier editions, when the case was heard in court, you had a state attorney representing the Inspector General of Police. But this time around, the Deputy Attorney General himself showed up in court and introduced himself as the one handling the case henceforth.
So what was the reaction of the other parties to this, the court's decision?
They were okay. In fact, in open court, the lawyer who had moved the application and got the IGP convicted did inform the court that they are pleased with the court directive and they are waiting to the subsequent hearing where the motion for the stay of the court execution at the sentence will be moved and they will make their responses known. But we understand that there may be some engagement between the lawyers involved in the case if an amicable solution could be reached in terms of who owns the property and who should be made to move away from the property or whether it should be auctioned at all.
Joseph Akable is our court correspondent. Thank you very much. Now, police in Takwa in the western region have arrested 3 suspects for allegedly trafficking a number of girls from Nigeria to Ghana to engage in prostitution. The girls were promised lucrative jobs here, but police say the traffickers performed voodoo ceremonies on them using their pubic hairs and nails in an attempt to bond them spiritually. Superintendent Kwabena Otue Champong gave the following details to our correspondent Inathalia Kwanza.
Today, 25th of October, at about 3:30 a.m., we were at the charge office when 3 victims who had been trafficked from Nigeria into prostitution came to the charge office after they had run away from their hostage. That they were brought from Nigeria about 2 weeks ago and promised a very luxurious and lucrative job in Ghana by one Victoria Omo Tayo, and that Victoria approached them and their parents and told them that she's a businesswoman in Ghana with a very big business and they are into sales. So she needs about 4 ladies to help her in the sales. So pursuant to this information, the ladies were given to her to come to Ghana. And when they arrived in Ghana, their hairs, their nails, some pubic hairs, their bra and their panties were taken ostensibly to put fear in them and threaten them that if they dare run away from what they are coming to do, they will be killed. So out of fear, they also obliged, and then they have been induced into prostitution for 2 weeks now until this dawn when they were rescued from their hostage.
You heard that Superintendent Kwabena Otue Champong there. Correspondent Inathalia Kwanza herself joins us on the line. She's been following this development. Now, Ina, we are learning that a 4th victim is seriously ill. What have officials been saying about her?
Yes, so the 4th victim, who is 15 years, she also arrived with these 3, and then she got pregnant, and along the way, they had to do an illegal abortion. So we visited the cottage where they live. And then this small girl was not there as we went there. We are told that they heard of the arrest of the 3, so they have taken her to a different place. The others are aging from 18 to 26 years. A while ago, the police arrested 3. They rescued 3, but we are upon a further visit to the cottage where these traffickers were living. They have arrested 10 more and another suspect. But there are more people there, but they are afraid because they said the people said if they should come out, they would lose their lives. So the police have assured that they would get back and then rescue these others.
Okay, but what's the general age range? You've talked about this 4th victim was 15 years. What's the age range of these women who were rescued?
The age range is between 18 to 26 years. Mostly they are all from Nigeria.
Okay, but we are learning that more people have been arrested today. Tell us more about it, Ina.
Yes, so the police went to the place around 9:45 upon one of the rescued who took them there that she has more sisters there and she wants them to be rescued. So the police was led there by the suspect and then they rescued more. There are more there, but they have refused to come out because they said they are afraid they might lose their lives.
And Western Regional Correspondent there, Nathalia Kwanza. Now, release the details of the investigative report now. That's the demand by a group calling itself United Zongo Youth, asking government to make public the investigative report on the killing of their 7 colleagues at Manson Kwanta nearly 3 months ago. The youth say it is taking government too long a time to release the report submitted by the investigative committee. Convener for the group, Mr. Zakaria Musa, wants President Akufo-Addo to fulfill his promise to implement the committee's recommendations by first releasing the report to the public. He's been speaking to Love FM's Prince Apia.
We want to know the report is with the appropriate authority. And considering the nature of the situation and what happened even before the setting up of the committee, we don't want anything similar or anything of that sort to happen again. And mind you, if the report is being kept in secrecy, the report is being shrouded in secrecy, it gives room for speculations, and we don't want anything speculative to be going around, because as I said earlier on, tension within the security situation within the area is not the best. You can imagine the death of 7 people. Committee was set up. Committee has finished its work. As a matter of fact, when the committee was initially given 1 month, and after the 1 month, they requested an extension of 2 weeks, which was again given to them for them to be able to do a good job. Now that they are done with their report, it's over a month now. What are we waiting for?
There's no pressure you are mounting on there.
We are not mounting pressure. As a matter of fact, it was not like the report was submitted yesterday and then 2 days we are demanding to know about the report. My brother, it's over a month now.
You heard there Zakaria Musa there speaking to Love FM's Prince Apia. Let's stay a while longer in the Ashanti region, because St. Louis Senior High School in the region is in the news again. This time, it is not the sexual abuse of students by teachers, but the alleged sexual abuse of female students by the school's pantry man. This incident, revealed by human rights group Child Rights International, chronicles how the students there are sexually abused by the pantry man after he assists them to make calls with his phone. We'll speak to Executive Director of Child Rights International later. But our man, Erastus Asari Dongo, has been speaking to the students at the center of this assault and joins us on the line. Erastus, what has the students been telling you exactly?
Well, the student says she wasn't raped, there was no sex, but then she claims that the pantry man fondled her breast and tried to convince her to have sex with her behind the school's water tank, to which she objected and pushed her away. And at that point, the school's prefect and other students came there. But the authorities are also saying that, and the girl herself admits that she has been punished for a similar offense where she took her phone to the pantryman, and she's been going to the pantryman to use his phone to make calls. And it was on such a visit that this happened.
But you also spoke to the pantryman in question. What exactly did he tell you?
Well, he also admits that, yes, he touched the girl's buttocks and breast, but there was no sex. And I asked her, why will you do that when you have no relationship with a girl? He says it's the devil that made him do that.
Is this the only girl he's done that to? Do we know?
In fact, this is the only case that the students out. And I've been asking around, and it looks like this is the first time he has done that.
But we know the disciplinary committee is aware of all these issues. What action have they taken so far?
Well, they have suspended the guy for 3 months, pending further punishment by the school's board. They have also suspended the girl for 1 month for breaking school rules and venturing into an unauthorized area, because that area is off limits for girls. They have also filed same with the Regional Directorate of Education, and the Educational Directorate has invited the pantry boy for further investigation.
But it looks like this is not the first incident we've recorded at St. Louis. This time it was a pantry man. But earlier we had cases of teachers sexually abusing their students. What has become of that case?
Well, we learned that the teacher himself was remanded into police custody. We are learning that he's been granted bail. and the police say they are still conducting investigations. And I think that is what Bright is referring to, that the case should be reopened and further investigations should go into it.
Erastus Asare Donko there, of course, will definitely speak to Bright Apia on this. Child Rights International, they are making some demands that the case should be reopened. He will join us on the line shortly here on the Midday News because they have some concerns about this particular incident, both with that of the teachers and now this time the pantry man. Will get to hear from him. And thankfully, he joins us on the line here on the Midday News. Mr. Bright Apia, we're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So what exactly are you expecting to be done in this case, especially with incidents at the St. Louis Senior High School?
Well, our expectation is that Ghana Education Service would open up the investigation again and then broaden the scope in terms of the terms of reference for the committee so that they can look at all aspects of issue that happens to children so that the focus is not only on teachers but also the non-teaching staff. So if there is any recommendation, then we put it in a proper context in terms of how people will behave towards children in the school environment.
And have you made this request official? Is it official? Have you written to the GES as we speak?
Yes. We've made that request to them, and then we are hoping that they will act accordingly. At least.
And have you received any response from the GES? Hello, Bright. It looks like we have a bad connection to Bright Apia's line, but we'll definitely follow this issue in our subsequent bulletins. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. On to some other stories, questions about what to do with electronic evidence in court and how to prove suspicious behavior in criminal cases have dominated discussions at an ongoing forum in Accra as part of activities to mark National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Financial Court Judge Justice Ifiasewa Asare-Botwe believes there must be some clarity on what constitutes admissible evidence to aid prosecution of cyber-related crimes in court. We'll get details of that because we know that the Interior Minister has also been reacting to that. But an increasing number of nursing mothers are said to be opting for baby formula instead of treating their babies to the much healthier 6 months exclusive breastfeeding. The Ghana Health Service blames the situation it describes as alarming on the promotion of baby formula. The service is, however, seeking to reverse the situation with the Becoming Breastfeeding Friendly Initiative Conference. Selinam Ampo was there and has more in this report.
Breastfeeding is a normal way of providing young infants with appropriate nutrients they need for healthy growth and development. Research conducted by the Ghana Health Service, however, reveals mothers are not breastfeeding, but rather patronizing more breastfeeding substitutes for their babies.
And this was one thing that was really a barrier for breastfeeding practices. There's also the issue of promotion and sale of breast milk substitutes. And there were a lot of promotion from the breast milk substitute companies going through around facilities, introducing and promoting the use of breast milk substitutes. Some even go to the extent of sponsoring World Breastfeeding Days and the rest just to get into the breastfeeding norms of the hospital or the facility. And there was also the issue of prenatal feeding. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes glucose water are given to babies, newborn babies in health facilities.
Speaking at a conference Becoming Breastfeeding Friendly Initiative, a representative of the Ghana Health Service, Esther Gia, said many of these women do not even know the measured quantity for mixing these formulas.
If the formula is being used, the mother even doesn't know that maybe I have to pour this amount into this amount of water, so there can be concentration of the formula or over dilution, and this can affect the growth of the child. And the issue of acute tract infections, overall disease burdens, high rates of death among non-breastfed infants, and poor infant growth.
Gender activist Ohene Yuri Gifty-Anti also advocated for institutions to provide nurseries to help working nursing mothers care for their infants while at work.
So I think that one of the easiest way we can handle this is if we push for institutions to have some private rooms where mothers can go with their babies, with a nanny or house help or relative or whoever, being there where they can take breaks and go. And then this whole thing about 6 months leave, 4 months maternity leave may not be a big issue. Because the most important thing we are pushing is the exclusive breastfeeding, making sure your baby is safe, you are giving her uncontaminated milk and care.
That's Selina Mampo's report read to you. Let's stay on breast-related issues because an increasing number of nursing mothers are said to be opting for these baby formulas. But head of Multidisciplinary Breast Cancer Center at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Professor Clegg Lamte, has debunked the long-held myth that sucking of breasts reduces women's risk of contracting breast cancer. Speaking on the Super Morning Show today, the breast expert told host Daniel Dati the only occasion where doctors find the act advisable is during breastfeeding of babies. This is in sharp contrast to the long-held belief that sucking of breast prevents breast cancer.
There are quite a number of misconceptions about breast cancer and what causes it. No, sucking of the breast does not.
What about the opposite? I've heard that sucking of breast helps prevent breast cancer.
It helps prevent if you are breastfeeding and your baby sucks your breast. But if you are not breastfeeding, no amount of sucking would protect you.
Okay. It's only when you're breastfeeding.
You have Professor Clegg. Now, a meeting between the Education Minister and Vice Chancellors of the various state universities over government's decision to remove retired lecturers from its payroll has ended inconclusively. You'll recall a letter from the NCTE to all public universities. Only academic staff aged between 60 to 65 years must be given post-retirement contracts effective 31st October 2018. The letter, signed by the Executive Secretary of the NCTE, Professor Mohammed Salifu, advised institutions who wish to retain staff age above 65 years to reassign such persons as consultants and pay them from internally generated funds. My colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson has been monitoring that meeting and joins us on the line with details. So Parker, what more have you been able to glean from this meeting?
Well, Emifa, my source in the meeting tells me that the VCs wanted to let the minister appreciate the challenges they will be going through should this directive be carried out by government, because they are saying that the teacher student ratio is not really the best. So if you take them out from the tertiary institutions, it would really cause them a lot of problems. But the minister, we are told, insisted that their hands are tied. I mean, there's so much burden on the public purse, and that is why they want to enforce this directive. And again, it is a constitutional provision that above 65 years, they wouldn't have to engage. So the universities have the right to engage lecturers within the age of 60 and 65, but all those who are above 65 years should be taken off from the government payroll. And again, if they want to engage them, they should find ways and means of paying them through their idea. So essentially, that is what happened now. The VC of who just came out, and then he is addressing the press. So let's quickly listen to him.
In our various universities, I mean, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are many structures in place to involve students in decision-making processes, even to the extent that students are part of university councils, governing councils, school fees committees, everything. I mean, you can't do anything without them.
Okay, so let me just say quick on. I mean, when he met the minister, what did he say?
I'm sorry.
I want to get a reaction from the minister.
We did not discuss this issue with the minister. I've said already that our meeting with the minister focused on payroll issues, ensuring that the universities have enough faculty to be able to provide the necessary teaching and learning experience for our students. So that was the focus of our meeting. That was the reason why we were brought in.
What was his reaction?
Oh, well, he called us to brief us on what steps we needed to take to ensure that we abide by the laws of the land, and also to ensure that we have the necessary faculty to be able to deliver the business that universities have to deliver.
And we'll definitely get more on that meeting in our subsequent bulletin. Still to come, we'll take a look at modern day parenting. Are parents now sparing the rod and spoiling their children?
They put something in you. They tell you that when you break your virginity, don't come to the house. When you get pregnant, don't make sure your shadow doesn't get to the house. But now, see, we are free.
And we'll tell you about the innovative security cameras that help you monitor activities in your home or shop and wherever you are in the world with just a click on your phone.
Even if you are not home and somebody comes around, the motion sensor triggers to alert you on your smart device, be it your laptop, your mobile phone, or your tablet, wherever you are, for you to see what goes on.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time now for sports. Ridwan.
Yes, MFR. Now, the Black Queens will play 3 friendly matches in 10 days against fellow 2018 Africa Women's Cup of Nations finalists Zambia, Kenya, and South Africa before the start of the tournament next month. The team will leave Ghana on October 30 to Zambia, where they will play the She Polo Polo on November 3. 4 days later, they will be in Nairobi to play Kenya before returning to Ghana to face South Africa's Bayana Bayana. Former Black Queens captain and CAF Women's Footballer of the Year, Adjoa Bayo, has advised players to remain focused on the huge task ahead.
The only thing I would say, just for the players, they should just focus. The entitlement, for that I can't say much because some of the players are not in camp, the professional. They have no income for now, so we'll just wait for a while and wait. If they all come together before we can judge and say whether it's supposed to win or.
So the month of November and even late October, it's all about women's football, and I'll be bombarding you with all you need to know because we want to fill the Accra and Cape Coast Stadia starting November 17 till December 1 when we left the trophy. You know, as for the first time.
Hopefully, the agenda is on.
So are you inviting any of them? Will you be at the stadium?
I'll be there, and I'll bring busloads of some other women so that we can fill the stadium. That's what you want, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Ridwan with the latest from the world of sport. Now, imagine having to monitor your abusive house helps, the number of customers who enter your shop, and even raise alarm on burglars, all with just a click on your phone. Ring security cameras have been designed with modernized features that correct major challenges associated with CCTV cameras. Nancy Emefadradosi has today's edition of Tech Thursday.
Sure, you've heard complaints such as
footage is too dark or blurred.
The camera didn't capture the face.
Even in critical situations, the footages are stolen. Imagine having a camera that solves all of these and more. Country manager Joshua Anyame explains the gap the camera seeks to close.
The idea was for homeowners to be able to see who is behind your door at any time, at any location.
That's the alert which pops up on your phone anytime anyone enters the area under surveillance property.
Even if you are not home and somebody comes around, the motion sensor triggers to alert you on your smart device, be it your laptop, your mobile phone, or your tablet, wherever you are, for you to see what goes on.
What is more interesting is that you are able to interact with anyone on your property as though it were a phone call.
You are so excited, you are so happy. The ring is such that it's actually connected to your phone through an application over a wireless internet.
You know what to do. But were the good old days really so good? Was parenting easier back in the day, or is it just an illusion? What about being a child? Was it better then or now? Back in the day, parents weren't afraid to discipline their children. Spanking and flogging were some of the methods parents used in disciplining their children. But Joy News has been speaking to some people who think most parents now are not disciplining their children well enough.
Now it's like we are exposed to a lot of dangers. The parents don't care again, and everyone is doing what they want to do. They think we are on top of the world as they assume. So like if maybe I'm 19 or 18 years now, I know I'm legal, so what is me having a boyfriend? What is me having sex? But you see, in the olden days, your parents will tell you that, hey, don't be a bad child. You should, like they are trying to groom you to put some fear in you. Yes, they put some fear in you. They tell you that when you break your virginity, don't come to the house. When you get pregnant, don't make sure your shadow doesn't get to the house. But now, see, we are free.
Okay, so I don't know what you think, flogging or not to flog, but it's time now to check what's trending on social media. Maps.
Hey, MFI, hashtag KNUST unrest is trending, and at J Kwame says, if you listened to the students in the first place, this wouldn't have happened. Hashtag KNUST unrest, and at Kweku_K says, the students must pay for the damage. What kind of behavior was that? And another thing that's trending is hashtag Thursday Thoughts. At Adam Fraser says, just in case you're doubting yourself today, you're wonderful, you are loved, you matter, and you deserve to be happy. Hashtag Thursday Thoughts.
We have more news, but we are out of time. So do log on to myjoyonline.com for more. I am MFA Apau. Have a good afternoon.